G'day everyone, Jason Nunn, Fisherman's Warehouse, TackleWorld, Marks Point. This Friday's fishing report. As you can see, a bit seaward there, a bit of cloud cover starting to build at sea, and there's a few showers off the coast at the moment. West, southwest, and probably more south-southwest by the time we get into tomorrow. Coastal showers this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and possibly into Monday. But Tuesday, Wednesday of next week look absolutely spot on with some westerlies then backing up on Thursday. Still plenty of fishing around, and interestingly enough, right here at the moment at high tide, I don't know if you can see it, you can see this discoloration in the water. This is all the sediment that's on the back of the swells that we had last weekend, and some massive seas along our coastline. It's a real shame. I think over the last couple of days, a few guys have been able to get out and have a bit of a fish inside on those close reefs and get some really nice snapper. But if we would have just got a couple more days at it, I think that farm and that deeper water would have produced some beautiful fish. But it's just going to be difficult. I think all of our attention is going to need to stay in the lake. Through the week, we're getting a lot of reports now of some very, very big salmon getting caught off our beaches. I have a lot of calls happening each day of the salmon back in the channel. There was a few there last Thursday, late in the piece, only come down as far as the sunken breakwater, basically where the triangle is, and they didn't come any further in. Over the next few weeks, you'll see a lot more of these big fish move off the beach and then start to move back into the channel on that next round of incoming tide. There's been plenty of ludrick around on our ocean rock platforms, but a lot of fish moving back into the channel, up towards Nauru, of course, Lucy's breakwater, and down at Swansea Bridge. There are a few kings at Swansea Bridge at the moment, but be mindful of your sizes, because the size of the kings of the bridge, there's a lot of ratfish there around about that 55 to 60 centimetres, so not a lot of keepable type fish. On the beaches, like we have mentioned, salmon and a few tailor, but a few really nice brim. But because of those big seas were so, probably just so erosive, and they were just tearing all that bank apart, once the tide comes in, you're virtually up in the sand dunes trying to fish. So you're just going to have to try to make the most of it. There's not going to be a real increase in swell, possibly a little bit of a spike tomorrow, but again, it may still be all right for rock fishing. And again, life jacket is a must if you're going anywhere near the rocks. The sea current out wide is still coming down the coast a little bit. There's potential over the next few weeks that we'll see a few yellowfin. I know there was a really nice one caught off Sydney this week. So again, those that want to get way out and chase those yellowfin, I think the end of that current is in sight. And over the next 3 to 4 weeks, we will see some improvements, and no doubt a few of us guys getting out there for a bit of a look. But the talk all week has been the tailor. There's been an immense amount of tailor getting caught in the lake, down towards Dora Creek, Bonnells Bay, back over Myuna Bay. There's been some great fish caught, fish up to 50, 52 centimetres. There's been a lot of flathead, been some beautiful flathead out here. Now Matt Brogan and his son had an opportunity to fish on Monday. Got their bag limit catch a tailor, fish around about that, say 45, was probably about the biggest, but 40, 45s, 8 flathead and a beautiful red. His young bloke got a beautiful red. This is what we've been talking about for the last month. You have to work these bait schools, get down there and be prepared to just get those vibes down and bomb those bait schools, and then have a bit of a look around and troll and put a few of these divers in. But there's some beautiful tailor, and again, they're not just down the southern end of the lake, they're spread right the way through. We're getting all the way near Coal Point, up towards Toronto and around Valentine. Some beautiful fish being getting caught. But look, even leather jackets at the present moment on these run-in tides, or the last of any tide for that matter, along our rock edges here, been a lot of reports of leather jackets, so that's another backup plan if the offshore situation isn't any good. But my tip this weekend is get out here and have a bit of a look at the lake. There's still plenty of brim around, particularly that western side's fishing well for brim, but there's some beautiful fish getting caught up around the islands. And the other thing, a lot of trevally, and there's been some quite big trevally up there. I know Hilly has been fishing up around the drop over. He got a beautiful fish the other day, 54 centimetres on 6-pound line. That's the sort of calibre of some of these trevally that came in around from around the island when that swell was at its biggest. So look, I think we just got to have a little bit of a look at it. Tides this weekend, you've got around about 11 to 12 high tide tomorrow, not a big one, around about 1.5, and the latter part of the afternoon around about 5:30, we're going to run into a low. So I reckon, as we talked about before, those salmon, as we start to get into next week, will start to sort of come around. Now, this week's Fisherman's Warehouse Fish of the Week winner is young Walt Robertson. So basically what he was able to do is get out there with his dad Heath, and he caught a beautiful fish at 60 centimetres. And Walt's only a little tacker, he's probably only be about 7 or 8, but that's a great effort, Walt. Get out there, use some of these vibes as we've been talking about, drop them into these bait schools and just jig them up. Come on down to the shop, Walt, and we'll give you one of our TackleWorld gift packs. But mate, that is a tremendous effort, and I know your dad was very, very proud. Now look, something I want to talk about at the present moment is a situation that has arisen with our wildlife, and certainly our seabird wildlife at the present moment. There's been a huge breeding season happening out there on Lake Macquarie with a lot of the pelicans going out there, and there's a lot of juvenile pelicans starting to migrate back to the coast. Already, Australian Seabird and Turtle Rescue on the Central Coast have made quite a number of rescues of these juvenile pelicans that are coming to the coast. There was one here in Swansea just last weekend. Now look, if you're driving along and you're seeing a juvenile pelican walk down the middle of the road, there's obviously something wrong. So perhaps instead of driving past it at 50 k's an hour or maybe laughing at the situation, you need to get out of the car. Gavin Cole did exactly that. Alex from work was able to get down and they were able to rescue that juvenile bird. So these birds at the present moment are coming over totally exhausted and malnourished. Quite a few of these birds possibly will need to be put down. So please pay some attention and please just be a little bit sensible about what we're doing. If a pelican's walking down the main street, it's not normal. If you need to contact anybody, please contact Australian Seabird or Hunter Wildlife, or just ring the guys at the warehouse and we'll pass you on to the authorities. Let's play our bit with the native seabirds in our area. I'll see you next Friday.